Welcome to a very spooky Halloween edition of Critiquing Your Short Films. We're going to break down what worked, what could have been stronger, and they're all going to be horror short films. If you want to submit your short film to be publicly critiqued on the channel, then please do go to standardstoryco.com, join my weekly newsletter, Friday Film Notes. You'll get free insights and inspiration every week for filmmakers. Over 12,000 people, I think, are subscribed, and you'll find the submission form at the bottom of each week's email. Now let's jump into the first one. It's called Trance, submitted by Adam Boyat, and only 2 minutes long. Let's check it out. By the way, I have not seen any of the films submitted this time, so this is going to be exciting.
Can I help you?
No time wasted. Love it.
Why are you looking at my house? Ugh. Hey man, look.
Okay, still going. There you go. That's Trance. Let's break it down. First of all, let's see how big this crew was. Got Adam, the co-writer. He edited it. We got a visual effects person helping out. Some music. All right, it's a very small team. First of all, what worked? I think the lighting is very simple, but it works. It's not distracting. This is nice. You got just one, potentially just a real street light here that's actually illuminating them.
Can I help you?
The audio's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Some more detailed sound design, some like better recorded audio. This actually sounds like it might even be ADR, recorded in post.
Hey man, look.
Now, I'm actually really curious, why did he do this shot with the keys? It's a little strange to me.
Look.
The eye effect is great. A little bit of sound design here. He drops the keys. I guess that's why we did that key close up earlier, but I'm still not sure it was necessary. This is fun. This jib shot, whatever it is. This is a common type of structure we see for short films, especially when they're really short, like under 2 minutes long. So often you'll see the structure of like the endless loop film, where it's some story that ends in the exact same place that it started. In this case, a little bit different because we have a different person who's about to go through the same trance-like experience. But overall, I think this is effective. This, to me, is a great example of like, hey, I just want to film something this weekend. Let's go do it. Here's an idea. It gives us some opportunities to try a few new things out and put something out there. And look, it's only a minute, 47 seconds. How are you going to be mad at that? Let's see what Adam said about it. Filmed over the course of mostly one night with some friends, one additional day for ADR, and a reshoot. First time using a jib as evidenced by the bad wobbly first shot. Oh, it was the first shot on a jib? Yeah, you could have fooled me. I thought that was just handheld. But good job. I had a wobbly ass jib when I made my first feature. That is bad. That was tricky to work with for sure. But overall, good job, Adam. This is a nice example of just like tiny little stepping stone projects. You get a few friends together, you pop something out there. You could do this every week if you really wanted to when you're working on that small of a scale. All right, let's step up to something a little bigger. We're going to go with Let Me In, submitted by Camilo Giraldo. I think that's how you pronounce your name. And let's take a look at this one.
According to the Metropolitan Police County, the 23-year-old man was found trampled on the side of the road. A week has passed since the incident, and the police have yet to report any suspects for this tragic story. A woman who found the body says she is still trying to process the horror of the life. The body was located. One lousy guy. I see a door. A woman who found the body says she was still trying to process the body was located in the northwestern side of the city.
Some of these knocks aren't quite syncing up. Oh, we got the Artless logo on the TV. That should be fixed. That's what happens when you don't pay for the subscription.
Leave me alone! Go away! What's going on? Please, just open the door! Let me in!
Were you knocking my door or something? Are you trying to pull a prank? Shit. What the hell? I didn't lock the door. Open the damn door! No! Please, who's there? Get out of my house! Let me in!
I think we have another loop film.
Who the hell are you? Leave me alone! Go away! Please! Open the door! Let me in!
You know what? I didn't see that ending coming, although I probably should have. So that took the loop to one higher level, which I appreciate. Really looped in a whole other part of the story. Now, when you stop and think about it, of course, it doesn't really make any sense, because how's he looking at, so he's already dead here? Is that what you're saying? Then who actually ran into him? You know what I'm saying? He can't be dead and the killer. Was he driving the car? Was somebody else driving the car? Probably best not to think about it too much. But I do love that this film wasted no time. It jumped straight into it. Technically, I don't really believe that horror needs to make any sense at all. It just has to tap into your fears. Now, this is really just, we can't accept this. We got to do something about this. We can't have an Artlist logo on the television. You either got to pay for the stock subscription or find something from Pexels.com, one of the free stock sources. But yeah, having the watermark in the final film is never a good idea. I also think the sound design could use some work here. Sound design with horror is so important. Probably the #1 genre where sound design is gonna like make or break your story. And in this case, while it's certainly not bad, it's serviceable. I think it just needs like a lot more detail and richness. There's a lot of times where he's screaming. And like you can tell the audio is clipped here, and so you need to be a little more careful about recording that. We don't even see his mouth here, so that's a really easy one to ADR and get really nice and crisp. Some shots like this are super grainy, so they need a little more light. This kind of, what's it called, dolly zoom effect. It's a little janky here. In general, it's kind of a tougher shot to pull off, and even when you do pull it off great, it can look pretty corny pretty easily. But overall, great effort, great job. Camilla, looks like you had a tiny team helping you as well. This was my first ever short film. I got into Toronto Short Film Festival. Stars my cousin who did a pretty awesome job. All right, well done. First ever short film, that's great. I think you did a good job writing something that had like a really nice payoff at the end. You set it up at the beginning here. We think it's going one way. It's like, oh, the person he ran over is at the door. Then it's him. You got a little twist. And then you got another little twist that, oh, he's the person that he ran over, which kind of doesn't make sense, but also kind of works. So well done. Let's check out another one submitted by Ian Wright called Dawn of Decay. For the record, I have not been scared yet, and I'm trying to get scared. I want to get spooked out here, okay? Let's see if Dawn of Decay can do that for us. Quite a long pan.
You alright?
Oh, it hurts. Oh, so deeply.
What hurts the most? Your gut or the fact that I told you so?
Listen, ice cream and I have an understanding. When such a divine substance graces my lips, shit, a steep price must be paid.
You can make eating ice cream sound like an addiction.
Well, maybe that's exactly what it is. I can't seem to stay away, and I always get hurt in the end.
Would you consider having a sliver more self-control sometimes, so that you might actually spend more time with me than on a toilet?
In sickness and in health, my dear.
We're not married yet.
Oh, you're gonna be like that? Mm-hmm. Come on, give me a kiss.
Nope.
Come here.
It's a little cringy.
See anything?
Nothing.
I think we should go.
This is a oneer.
It's all right. It must have been.
Oh my god.
You seriously? You all right?
Yeah. I think
Asshole.
we should go. I think we should go, okay?
Yeah, you probably. All right, let's pack away and get to the car.
Matt? Matt? Matt!
Sir? Are you all right? Call for help.
He was pretty creepy when he first looked up, but because it's a oneer, you know, the action's never going to be as intense unless you really have like stunt people doing this stuff. This is an elaborate oneer, you gotta give it to him. They're applying makeup, mid-shot. Wow. First oneer we've done on here, and that was a 5-minute long oneer. Pretty complicated from a production point of view. I want to see how many people were working on this. Also, mistake number one, I feel like the credits are a full minute and 16 seconds for a 5-minute long film. That's a bit long, I think. Production designer, editor, score. Got the actors, makeup and special effects, sound recorder, sound designer, boom op, wardrobe. 3 people on wardrobe, that seems like a lot. Graphic artist, crowd. All right, so let's break it down. I think the dialogue in the beginning was, pretty cringe and weak. Like, I didn't feel like they were a real couple or real people, or at least people that I would want to not get eaten by zombies. They can get eaten. Focus is a little soft here. It goes in and out throughout. That's to be expected, especially running it with no assistant camera to help out. The blocking and staging was pretty good. I mean, the fact that it just kind of keeps moving. We go from an exterior to an interior. We have that makeup and wardrobe change on this guy. But I think the problem is this is the type of thing that I really like to stay away from, which is a film whose story really only works because of the stylistic way that it is executed. So this is a completely execution dependent film. If this was shot with normal coverage, I don't think there would be anything really noteworthy about it. In fact, it might be better with normal coverage just because you can make the action more impactful. And in this one, there's a lot of like wrestling with zombies at like arm's length away and just kind of like gently rolling them down to the grass. That isn't the most... Yeah, like it's not very intense. I think if I was approaching a film like this where it was like, okay, let's try to do, zombies in the park and super low budget, super small team, I'd probably approach it more from a suspense building angle as opposed to like an action angle, which I feel like they took here. So for example, coming up on a guy who's, eating a bird or a squirrel or like a baby in the park or something like that, but you don't see what he's doing until you get right up on him, and then he like whips and turns, and then that's when you see him. Just building up that scare for as long as possible, and then you don't need to rely on this kind of action. It's just better for low budget stuff, then you don't end up with these soccer yellow card flops or whatever you call them. Commendable effort. And again, just thinking about remove all the trappings of the filmmaking here and just think about what's the story that we're telling. And her boyfriend are having a picnic, zombie attacks. There's a bunch of zombies. Her boyfriend gets bitten. They go to the bathroom and then she's cornered and gets, eaten by her boyfriend. It's basically everything that we thought was going to happen. So maybe some kind of twist, maybe ice cream is actually the antidote to getting bitten by a zombie. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there. Let's see what Ian has to say about making this thing shot entirely in a single take. Well, I did notice that. Well done. Let's jump straight into another one. Nosso apartamento. Our apartment. Unlike the others, we have a slow opening, which may end up working well. The lighting is the best so far. Cinematography in general. Ooh, alright, we got our first creepy moment. Genuinely creepy. Good sound design in this one, too. I like the constant jumping ahead in the edit. It's a subtle thing, but it's kind of a sign of confidence with the edit and the storytelling in general. Once we get it, move on to the next story beat. There's no need to linger unless it's actually making people more scared, more curious, more engaged with the story. This person has a good sense of timing. This character also happens to be a filmmaker. I'm gonna go ahead and take a wild leap and say that those happen to be the filmmaker's books and film slates that are being used as props here. They weren't purchased as set dressing for this film. Notice also there's been no dialogue so far, and we're more engaged than the previous films that did have dialogue. So often it works that way with short films. Especially with horror. That's it? That's the end? Well done. I was into that. I don't understand the ending. So she sees a recording of herself doing something from earlier in the day. And then we see this long-fingered man in her apartment, but then she just sits down and looks up at the ceiling. I don't quite understand that. And then it just ends. I don't know. It actually makes me feel dumb because everything else in the film was done so competently that it seems like the ending should work and I'm just missing something. See if we got any details from Andre Federici. Oh man, I might mispronounce that. Andre Federici, director. This is the short film me and my partner Breno made when we started our movie making hobby 2 years ago. Also, the shadow that appears in the kitchen window in the final scene was an accident. It was Leo's the writer of the film, but we kept it in. Now, ironically, I'm all about... Oh, wait a minute. Is this another loop film? She's looking at the ceiling? Oh my God, we've got another loop. Right when you least expect it. Although technically this one didn't really need to be a loop. There's really nothing loopy about it except for the fact that the first shot is the same as the last shot. Let's take a look at this again. Okay, first of all, beautiful lighting here. Excellent composition, and then check this out. And with the sound design, perfect. You cut away so quick, you just get the silhouette, and as always with horror and like a silhouetted creature, you just need the one thing that's wrong. The one thing that's not right, and look at the fingers. It's doing all the heavy lifting, if I can actually pause it. Yeah, just those fingers down there. So easy, but that's all it takes. And the music, the sound design, subtle but effective. A lot of silence, and of course when we're doing silence, you know, we're very rarely doing actual silence. Silence here is more treated with like drones and breath. Look at this cut. Box to inside the box, opening it. Good sense of just like keeping it moving, keeping it interesting. Not a fan of the ending. It just didn't escalate. You know, the creature's inside the apartment now. Like, I feel like even just ending it right there is probably good. Or like she sees it in the apartment and then looks away and suddenly it's like right at her face or something. That's a very common horror short film ending. But just to be able to back away from it and look up at the ceiling, I don't know. Then again, the short film is called Our Apartment. So maybe that's the point. She just accepts the fact that she has to live with this terrifying creature in an apartment. But I don't know, it still didn't just feel like meaty enough for me. All right, great. I love that. Let's move on to The Deployment by Nick London. Classic sci-fi film exposition intro. Brutal invasion. There's hostile species among us. They eat people. The SEC, Safe Encounter Corps, tries to eliminate them. You get the idea. Right off the bat, this one's looking slicker than anything we've seen. And part of that is just from typography. I mean, look at that thin, tiny font. That always looks cool. But also these sets and the lighting, it's doing a lot. The music sounds great too. Generally, I'm not a fan of opening credits in a short film. I feel like it's excessive. And it falls into that whole thing of short films that are trying to be feature films. But I'll cut it some slack. Let's see where it's going. Honestly, we're about 2 minutes in and it kind of feels like nothing has really happened. Like I'm still waiting for something that I can understand to actually happen. Like all this stuff looks cool, but it's sort of just washing over me and I don't have anything to latch onto as a viewer. Like, who is this guy? I'd like to get an idea of his personality.
Welcome, officer. 516.
What is the situation? Why is he in this building? What's going on? I'm assuming he's trying to kill these aliens.
Status.
Alive.
Injuries.
Yes.
Medic required. Medic required. Please register a response.
No.
Status update registered. Redeployment in T minus
Yeah, there's just too much
4 minutes.
just in this one spot sitting around waiting. Is there a way to make this more concise?
Keep calm and remain functional.
It feels like one of these things where we're trying to tell a huge world in too small of a sandbox to kind of achieve it.
Officer down. I repeat, officer down. Alpha 5-1 location. Severe injuries to back and neck.
Wait, did he just notice this guy? Didn't we see his shoe right in front of him
Weak
for
pulse. He needs a medical evac
the
ASAP.
whole time?
Large, deep saturations. Okay, look. Position is compromised. Targets in and around the area. Suggestion. Enter through the Cobb system and...
Medical attention opportunity has expired.
It's not for me. Cancel previous registration. You can't leave him here. They'll tear him apart. Respond.
Cannot assist in redeployment phase. Redeployment in T minus 3 minutes.
Oh man, now I feel like I'm on a customer service call with Spectrum, AT&T or something.
Calm and
I should just say speak to agent. That's what I always say when they keep giving me the runaround with the machines. Or you can hit 0.
redeployment in T minus 2 minutes. Failure to redeploy is an officer violation and will result in officer termination as per protocol.
It's got everything going for it, but it's not fundamentally the best storytelling. Which is what, story really is everything. Like, it has the trappings and fixings of kind of a cool world, sleek presentation.
Redeployment in T.
And the lighting is actually a little hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like I kind of feel like I see what it's going for, but it's not quite pulling off that sci-fi aesthetic so well.
Away from your person.
Like this shot, for example, a little jerky. Uh-oh, is this an alien? Are we finally getting somewhere?
Unidentified entity detected. Safe zone. Alpha 5-1. Warning. Officer redeployment violation committed. Warning. Warning. Initiating officer termination. Thank you for your service. Officer 516.
So again, like, why do I care that this is happening? I don't really know this guy, I don't care about him. The person who he's attacking, I have no idea who they are. The person who was on the ground, I don't know who they are. Turning into an alien, or whatever, creature, you know, I'm assuming it's not a good thing. But I just don't have enough info, and I don't have enough connection with the characters to really care. Oh, we're finally leaving the house. This is nice. Now this is getting more exciting. Running super fast with a body on his back. This is fun. We're getting into some fun territory now. Very werewolfy. What's that? A Lego. The Lego we saw earlier. Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't understand that. I didn't connect with it. And I wish I did, because it had a lot of elements going for it. This might be a case where just, you know, it was really just all about the script not working. There's more story told right here than in kind of the entire film, in my opinion, which is harsh. But you know what? If we look at what Nick said, if I'm lucky enough to be picked, please don't go easy on it. So you got it, Nick. But no, let's read more. This was our first ever film made by me and my wife in UK. Well, that's incredible. For your first film, I mean, come on, that's great. It was an ambitious first film, very ambitious. For this, I had never owned a camera. Jeez. 3 years ago, I needed to change my life, work in corporate, so I spent around a year studying film, story, lighting, camera, and I had a passion for it, but never pursued. This was meant to be a practice film and was never intended for release. However, it received positive feedback, so we sent it to film festivals. We got into a fair amount, which was shocking. Got nominated for Best Cinematography, cherry on top. Incredibly humbled. However, I do struggle to watch it myself now. Would love your take on it. The good, more importantly, the bad. All right, I mean, that's amazing, dude. Congratulations. And the fact that this was a practice film, he didn't even intend to release it, and now it's getting blasted by me to dozens of people on YouTube is pretty wild. I mean, for your first ever film, and especially to like make a total life change like that and just start learning all this stuff yourself, this is amazing. By the way, if you want to do something like that, check out Wrapped in 30 Days, my 30-day film school, where I will take you from being a guy like Nick here who just wants to make films but doesn't even know where to start maybe, all the way to wrapping your own crowd-pleasing short film with a focus and emphasis on story and storytelling the entire way through. So I'll walk you through every step of the process, from writing it from the very blank page to a full finished script that you're going to go produce, that you're going to go direct, and you don't even have to learn all the technical details of everything, lighting, camera, and all that stuff. I'll teach you how to bring on people to help you fill in your skill gaps and create the best work possible, because film is a collaborative medium. Check it out, wrapped.school, if you want to join us. And Nick, well done. I have some issues with it. I think story-wise, it needed some work. That script shouldn't have had that guy just kind of sitting there and breathing and playing with his gun and talking on his walkie-talkie for like 6-7 minutes, which is what it felt like. I think it should have had a little bit more movement in the story, not even necessarily physically, but just story should have been developing quicker. But overall, you know, you built a vibe and you built a world, and there was some very competent work mixed in this film. So good job. And now we're going to watch Paragon, submitted by Colin Treneff, and let's just jump straight into it. straight away, we got some good lighting, we got some good set design. And a good logo font. Very slick. I'm just gonna stop it. We're 1 minute into this film, and what do we feel? What are we getting from this thing? Well, we can tell it's super slick, great production design, a lot of work went into that, great cinematography, there's a lot of sound design, there's a lot of attention to detail just in the graphics. So already, there's so much care being put into this. It's also moving quickly. Granted, nothing serious has really happened yet. He put a floppy disk in and we saw some text on the screen. But I have the feeling that this is going to be quite an interesting film. Let's see where it goes now. They have all the skills. I'm very convinced of that. Let's see if they can tell a great story with those skills.
Let's see what you can do. Something more specific. Excellent, comrade. How about trivia? Oh, no shit. Choice.
Making text work cinematically like this takes a lot of work. They're doing a good job with it. For example, watch how they track across the screen with the text like that. You kind of need to do things like that because you can only read so many words at a time. Even this stuff, like these shots, to me actually are really pushing what we can follow along with in real time. I might have even pushed it and put a blur up towards the top and bottom of the screen so I know exactly where to look. That way you don't have to linger on these text shots quite so long. But this is super nitpicky stuff, which everybody kind of learns as they start doing films that have text on screen. Wonder how they got that period appropriate Coca-Cola can.
The hell?
Now Oh, see how they're giving you just the text they want you to read? Keywords.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Alright. Breathe.
Assuming this will be the one where the story takes a turn. There we go. Now we're almost halfway through the film when that happens. So I would argue that that's too far, and I don't know if we actually needed that exciting but potentially unnecessary sequence and montage of other predictions. Also, just from a story thing, like, would this guy necessarily just believe all these predictions like that, or would he be skeptical about them? Seems like he bought it straight from the beginning, so maybe from a storytelling perspective, it would be a little more believable if the first prediction that the computer spit out was like, you know, in a minute you'll get a phone call from your mother or something like that, and then the phone rings and it's his mom, and he's like, okay. And then the next prediction is like, oh, 9/11's going to happen or something like that. And then he's like, holy shit. You know, he's bought into the predictions at that point. But okay, let's see where this story's going. Love the whip pans. Is there a knocking at the door or something? What's making him look through the people? Well. All right, there's a lot to talk about with this one. Man, I love the music. Original score? I'm gonna assume. There you go. Oh, by the director. Well done. Okay, so this ending was pretty cool. I do like how it approaches him, but I wouldn't say that it actually scared me. Yeah, like everything about this film was cool, undeniably cool, which is great. But I think, you know, you got to just like take the bird's eye 1,000-foot view of everything when you're making a film and think about like, all right, we've got a 11-minute long film here. What actually happens in this film? We got a guy who makes a copy of a floppy disk, puts it into his old computer. We're in 1984. We don't really know what this thing is. It's called PARAGON, Mystical Database of Knowledge. And it gives him predictions of the future over and over again, which he chooses to believe. And then it says that craftsmen are coming are going to determine the outcome of the world. They're going to visit you. You know, we're building this big mythology, but I don't know who the craftsmen are. I don't know anything about this kid. There's nothing that he did that made me connect with him at all. And I'm not saying that we need to necessarily give this kid like a save the cat moment or something where he, you know, pulls his cat out of the oven or whatever. So we're like, oh, he's a good guy. I don't need to know that he's a good guy, but I need to know who he is in some kind of way besides like 1984 computer nerd or whatever. Something that just lets me connect to his humanity in some kind of way. Also, potentially the bigger issue that I'm having with it is I don't know the rules of this world in the sense that like simplicity is usually best if you're just trying to scare somebody. And, you know, you could say like, this is also kind of like a thriller. But if you're just trying to scare somebody, like we need to have some form of like, these are the rules. This is what you're scared of. There is a thing right here. And like, I couldn't tell like where this creature was, what it was going to look like, what form it was going to take. Everything was just like, we didn't see it. So I don't know what the stakes are. I don't know. I just don't know enough information to feel scared. And that's one of those difficult things. That's why, to me, this was the scariest film, because I feel like I know what world we're living in. We're living in like kind of the real world. You know, we got a girl like making coffee and blah, blah, blah. She looks out the door and sees that. That's just scary. And now early on in the film, I know there's a man with really long fingers who's watching her. And I kind of know what the rules are. I know what to look for and what to be scared of. And this, I just didn't know what to be scared of. And if I had seen this face that's in the... If I had seen this face maybe in the computer screen or behind him, or if he saw it. And again, like, I don't think it should have taken until 5 minutes into the film before we got the first real, like, inciting plot point of, okay, something is about to happen to you, this character. That's why we're watching this story happen right now. I don't know if we needed like minutes of setup of talking to this computer that kind of disappeared. Now, is this ghost that's behind him, is this what created the software? Is this the craftsman? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how important it really is. But look, that was really cool and really well done. Let's hear a little more about it. We used a working 1983 model Apple IIe computer. All the text on the computer screen is real, shot in camera. Looked great. Had to be typed out manually by myself. It was a huge pain. I could totally see that. I was entertained the whole time. Like, I do think it could have been shorter. It could have been condensed in that first half. And more importantly, I think you could have done things to raise the stakes throughout. And potentially, now I'm really getting up in your business, but potentially having like a B plot or a B story going on here, so that it's not just purely looking at this text and communicating with this computer, But maybe having like a B story or a B plot going on where, you know, somebody is trying to call him and it's his mother, it's a person, blah, blah, blah. And then he picks up one time, he's like, I told you I can't talk right now. And then it's like, you know, the craftsman or something like that, or just like a person breathing on the other end, just to kind of like raise the stakes and also give us a window into who this character is that we aren't really getting because he's only interacting with the computer so far. I don't know who this guy is, and I think it'll just be a more entertaining film if we got a little bit of insight to it. But right now you do have the no dialogue thing, which is nice. Granted, he does talk a little bit as he's typing things in. I just feel like there's so much talent on display in this film, but there are story tweaks that could have made it so much stronger and more impactful. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I'm looking forward to seeing what your next film is, Colin Treneff. All right. And that is it, folks. That is our Halloween horror films. Spooky. Very spooky. Big thanks to all these filmmakers for submitting their films for a public critique like that. It takes a lot of guts. I'm going to link all of their channels and films in the description. Give them a follow, subscribe, give them a like, smash all those buttons. And if you want to submit your film to be critiqued on the channel, do not email me. Do not ask me in the comments how I do it. I will not respond to you. I'm telling you right now, like I told you in the beginning of the video, go to standardstoryco.com, sign up for Friday Film Notes. It's a great weekly newsletter. You'll love it. Everybody loves it. And at the bottom of each of those emails that go out every Friday, you'll see a link to a form to submit your film for critique on this channel. Use that. Okay, thanks so much, folks. I'll see you all. Don't forget to subscribe.